A pretty big haul today to share, so I'm going to get right into it. I've got this pile of manga that I'm going to go through, as well as these merch items, and then some pin mail off screen that I'm going to share from my latest packages. So as you saw in my last couple videos, I had been traveling for a few weeks, so these are all things that came in while I was gone and since I've been back. And I'm really excited to have all of it and get all of it put onto my shelves after I finish recording this video, so I'll get right into it. So starting out, we have Yakuza Fiance, Raisei wa Tanin ga Ii, Volume 7. This is a seinen series that is ongoing, and I love it. It does have some romance in it, especially in the later chapters. I am current with the chapters into Volume 8, maybe past Volume 8 and into Volume 9 that I've been reading ahead digitally. So just really happy whenever I get each volume. I love this series, and eventually I'm gonna just do a straight read through because I've fallen behind. When this series started releasing in English physicals, I was reading each volume as it was released, but then I had gotten into some other series that I was reading and kind of fell behind, so now I'm just collecting them for now, though I have already read the content. I love this female lead though. She's one of my favorite female manga anime characters. And this guy, he's so dubious. You see his octopus tattoo, but just right in the middle of some really suspenseful things in this current section of the story, so excited to see where it all leads. Next, I have a handful of shoujo series, so Kimi Todoke, From Me to You, Soulmate. So this is a 3-volume spin-off series of Kimi Todoke that follows Kurumi, one of the side characters in the main story. I have read this already, all 3 volumes, and it's not my favorite content because while I didn't dislike her in the main story, she's not a favorite character. But while this spin-off does follow her and her romantic interest after high school when she's in university, we do get to see glimpses of some other characters like Kazuhaya and Sawako when they're a little older, so that makes it all worth it. I'm really happy that Viz printed this for us and we got an English release just so that I could have it in my collection, so that I could have all the Kimi Todoke goods that I can get my hands on. I really like this guy. He's the male lead of the story, and he's from the mangaka's earlier series, Crazy for You. And while I was not a big fan of that series, I do really like his character and how he's portrayed in this spin-off series. So again, just really happy that we have this in English now and looking forward to volumes 2 and 3. I'll probably wait until those are released and then just read through all 3 of them. Next is A Condition Called Love. I love this series, and I'm just collecting it as the volumes are releasing. This one as well, I've fallen behind reading as the physicals have released, but I have read through, I believe, volume 13 in the digital release. Right now, this one has its anime adaptation airing, and I haven't watched any of it yet because I want to wait till there are more episodes out so I can binge straight through them, but that is one of the shoujo series I've been most excited about watching. This one, and then Kimi Todoke when season 3 starts airing. But this is a high school romance, and I love the male lead in this series, and just the relationship is so sweet and cute and wholesome. Both of the main characters get really good character development and character growth, and then the relationship through the series too has really good progression as well, kind of just adapting as they grow as individuals and it affects their relationships. So huge fan of this series. It is ongoing still in Japan, so not sure how long it's gonna wind up being. This is volume 7, but big fan of this series. Another shoujo series, Rainbow Days, Volume 9. I love this cover. They're my favorite couple in the series. So Rainbow Days follows 4 high school boys that are a friend group together and how each of the 4 of them pursue romance with different girls that they're interested in. But this series is complete in Japan at 16 volumes. Oh my gosh, their chibis are so cute. But the series is complete at 16 volumes in Japan, so we're over halfway there. I'm really excited to have this series complete in my collection. It is one that I've read before, and from start to finish, I just really love this series. And I'm so happy that it got a physical print release from Viz. The release has been pretty consistent time frame wise, and then the volumes have just been really nice. And just like the others, I was reading each volume as they were releasing, but I've fallen behind because I got distracted by other longer series that I was reading. So I'll probably just wait on this one as well until a few more volumes come out, and then I'll do a mini binge of a portion of it, and then maybe I'll wait till it finishes and then do another binge of the end of the series. So, Rainbow Days. Alright, and then one more shoujo series, Gazing at the Star Next Door. So this is one that I had been reading the fan translation of before the English release started, and I really am enjoying this one. The series is ongoing, so I don't know how long it will be, and I believe I've read into volume 4, or maybe I've read volume 4 and I've read into volume 5, so this one is really sweet, really wholesome, a high school romance, following 2 childhood friends and neighbors who grew up together, but getting into high school, or it might have been in middle school, I can't remember. He has become a bit of a celebrity as a model and actor. And I'm kind of relieved that I've gotten used to the English name for the series. I was kind of annoyed whenever this license was announced that this was the title, because the series in Japanese has an English title, Stella Next to Me. And I was so bothered that Kodansha just changed it from Stella Next to Me to Gazing at the Star Next Door, but whatever, it's fine, I guess. But I'm really excited to do a read-through of this series. Once I get a couple more volumes, I'll probably do a reread because I've been following the digital release. But just seeing this volume makes me a little frustrated too with Kodansha, because they even are advertising on the cover, author of Ron the Peerless Beauty. And it's just so frustrating because I love this series, Ron the Peerless Beauty, but it's one that Kodansha hasn't given us a physical release of yet. It's digital only. But then they're using it to promote this physical volume and even have a chapter at the back of this volume that has spoiler content for Ron the Peerless Beauty, when a lot of people who are reading this haven't read the digital content yet. So I'm just so frustrated about that. I love this series. I love Ron the Peerless Beauty. I really hope that it will get a physical release as well, but just really unsure about how Kodansha is running things. Like, give us what we want, please. But I really hope that people are enjoying this new release of Gazing at the Star Next Door, a very sweet and wholesome high school romance series, but one that really pulls at your heartstrings when our female lead is starting to feel the pressure of the status of her friend and crush. Okay, the next title I have here is an 18+ title, We Can't Do Just Plain Love, Volume 3. And I actually read this one immediately upon receiving it, because Volume 2 left off on a bit of a cliffhanger. I really love the main characters, the main couple in this series. I love the art style. But honestly, some of the drama in Volume 2 and then into Volume 3 was extremely frustrating. I really dislike this character as well as the second male lead. And so the drama around those two, as well as the little side plot that follows them at the end of Volume 3, is extremely irritating and frustrating to me. But I'm going to continue following this story because I like these two so much. And I'm really excited for Volume 4 to kind of see how the story continues, how the relationship develops, and all of the little spicy extras that come along with it. The next 2 volumes are Volumes 2 and 3 of Mars Red. So A few weeks ago, I got volume 1, and now I have volume 2 and 3 completing this 3-volume series. So Mars Red is a historical series that follows a group of vampires that work for the government in kind of a small task force to fight against other vampires who attack humans. So from this premise, even me saying it, this is not the type of series I would normally have looked into or even given a try, but the mangaka who did the art for this series and adapted it from the stage play is the same mangaka that did Laughing Under the Clouds, which is a series that I love, both the story and the art style. So I wanted to give it a try just to see how they would adapt this story, but then also to see their art style drawing these characters. I found out about this series from their art book because after reading Laughing Under the Clouds and Laughing in Purgatory, I bought their 2 art books, and there were some art pages that were dedicated to Mars Red, and I was curious about it. Some of the color pages from the art book are the inside pages in here, but I read this series a little while ago, I think last month or the month before, and I enjoyed it so much. I, of course, loved the character designs. They're just so gorgeous. But then I really like how the story was adapted as well. I haven't watched the anime, but I have read a few reviews of people's thoughts comparing the stage play to the manga, the stage play to the anime, and then the anime to the manga, and I think the manga will be my favorite medium, predominantly because of the art style. I've really loved this manga's art style, but then also, evidently, some of the focal points and even the protagonist of the story is portrayed a little differently in the anime from what I've heard. In the anime, I've heard that this character is more portrayed as the main character, and then this character, who's one of my favorites, their backstory is not even revealed as it is in the manga. So I don't know, I might give it a chance at some point, but for now I added this series to my collection, Mars Red, and now I have all the volumes, and I'm looking forward to my husband reading it because I've been gushing about it and gushing about this mangaka ever since I read Laughing Under the Clouds in December. And I love to force him to read things that I like so that we can talk about them. But yeah, the first vampire series in my collection, Mars Red. Next, I have the latest omnibus volume from Tokyo Revengers. So I believe this is Omnibus 10, so volumes 19 and 20. And as usual, just 7C's doing a fantastic job with this release. Just gorgeous omnibus volumes, just really nicely made. I'm so happy with the Tokyo Revengers release. And it's been releasing so quickly, already at volume 20 of 31 volumes, so pretty soon it's going to be complete. This is another one, just like I've been saying about every pre-order that I've gotten the past couple months. I am behind as well with Tokyo Revengers. I have read all of Tokyo Revengers already, but just like the others, I was rereading the omnibus volumes as they came out, and I fell behind, so I'm behind a few omnibus volumes now with my reread. So since I'm behind anyways, I'm just going to continue reading other series that I've been interested in, and then once I get another omnibus volume or 2, then I will just binge through the new omnibus volumes. But Tokyo Revengers is a shonen action series that has sci-fi elements of time travel. I believe season 3 just finished airing, or maybe it's still airing, I can't remember. But I've only watched season 1 of the anime so far. I really need to watch seasons 2 and 3, as I love this series. I love the manga, but then I also really enjoyed season 1 of the anime. So it's on my to-watch list, and I will get to it. Oh, and then I'll share, because these are 2-in-1 omnibus volumes, each cover is just one of the two, and then the second illustration is inside. So we have the Hatani brothers here on the inside. I love every cover of Tokyo Revengers. Just the fashion is so good. And then the last book that I have in my haul today is YoRHa Pearl Harbor Descent Record Volume 3. So I haven't read any of these yet, but I got some of the content from these manga volumes when I watched the anime, as the anime did reveal some of the things from this series before this volume was released in English. But NieR is one of my husband's favorite series and has a character that he really likes in it. So this is going to be going into his collection that he keeps separate from mine. And honestly, I am planning to read it, but I'm going to wait until it completes. So I don't know if Volume 4 is the final volume of the series or if it is ongoing past that, but I'm planning to binge read through YoRHa Pearl Harbor Descent Record once it completes. And speaking of NieR, now that I've gone through all of the manga, some of the merch items involve a few NieR characters. So a couple of acrylic plates that we got recently. These were merch items that we pre-ordered from Ami, and I'm really happy with them. So is my husband, of course. He loves the series, so we have 9S. And then, sorry, I think there is going to be a bit of a hard cut right here because my phone ran out of storage. But I think I was saying I'm really happy with these acrylic plates, so 9S and then 2B, just really gorgeous. I love that these are official art pieces of them, like in formal wear. But my husband is really looking forward to having these on display. And with some of our recent like fan art and poster goods that we've gotten recently, he's overdue to reorganize his shelves. So I'm excited to see how he fits everything in. Okay, next I'm going to go through some of the pin mail that I've gotten recently and then end on these One Piece trading card game cards that I've gotten. So I have these 2 pins and I love them so much. So I already have Narumi holding a Hirotaka plush, and now I have Narumi as well holding Kabakura. It's so cute! And then I have Chizuru from Kimi Todoke holding Ryu. And it's just so precious. Chizuru is one of my favorite characters in Kimi Todoke. Ryu is actually my favorite, but them as a pairing, I love them so much. And there just isn't a lot of fan art or just fan merch of her and them. So I was so thrilled whenever I saw this pin announced. I know that Sawako had a pin holding Kazuhaya as a little plush as well, but I felt like she kind of didn't look like the Sawako that I know and love, so I decided to just get this one. Whereas for Hanako, I have both her and Narumi. So really happy to have these, and I'm excited to get them all set up on my shelves. Next, I have 2 pins from Haikyu. I love these so much. So I found out about these pin designs like way after they had initially released. So I was thinking it would be impossible to find them, but I have a pin account on Instagram and I put out my ISO in search of, and a few people responded who were unhauling these pins, and I was able to snag them. So I'm so happy. I've already been collecting Omi. I have a few pins of his that are chibi pins, chibi designs, and I was gonna only collect chibi designs of him that were like the smaller 2-inch pins. But I loved these designs so much when I saw them. My favorite section of the story is the post time skip content. MSBY is my favorite team, and Omi is my favorite character, and so I just had to have this one of Omi, but then when I saw the Atsumu, I really wanted to have them as a pair. I'm a big fan of this ship, Sakuatsu, so I'm really happy to have them together, have them both. And while I, of course, love Omi's design, that he's all cute doing his little roar, Atsumu's is really precious as well with his tongue out and just his very Atsumu demeanor. So, not sure yet how I'm going to display these along with all of my Omi chibis, so I'm still trying to figure that out. And then lastly, I have 2 more Sanji pins. So first, I have this gold Sanji Wano coin pin. And there we go. It's kind of hard to see if you don't have the reflection and glare quite right, but it's Wano Sanji with his YoRHa 66 stealth black canister. Okay, I had it. Okay, there we go. I love this design. So when this pin had its in-hand drop, I was really desperate to get it. And then I ended up doing a group order with another person. And then because of the time it took for this pin to travel from overseas to the United States, and then this person waiting on a few other pin orders that we had group ordered together, I was waiting months to get it. So when I finally got it, I was just thrilled to have it. So I'm really happy now to have this in my collection. It had 2 different variants, so a regular gold and an antique gold. And this is the regular gold. I am not really sure because I didn't see it in person what the difference is, but I think the antique gold is just a little less shiny, but I'm not entirely sure. But really like this pin. I'm so happy to have it. At first when I found out about it, I was like, is this a pin or is this a coin? But it's a pin. So here it is. And then the last Sanji pin, I'm so happy. Like, I feel like I'm saying this about all the pins, but I'm so happy that I got a hold of this one. So I have one other pin by this pin maker, and it's Sanji in this same tile design. And this Sanji release in his YoRHa 66 suit, his raid suit, wasn't a typical release where people could pre-order it or people could buy it in hand. It was a blind release, so people got it who weren't expecting a Sanji pin. And once I found out after it was announced, after the in-hand sale ended, the pin maker announced what the blind pin was, and I was like, I'm never gonna get this. No one will sell this to me, I'm certain. But I put it on my ISO, on my pin account, and someone reached out to me. So I'm so grateful because this was a really low LE, so there weren't a lot of these pins made. And I'm really glad that I was right away able to get this pin that I wanted so badly. But it's quite a bit darker than the other Sanji pin because of the, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the pin effects are called, but there's an effect here that the pin is darker than the typical silver pins that this pin maker makes. But I love it. It's so good for the mood of this pin and just how Sanji feels about this raid suit and about his family. So really happy to have this pin now. So that's it for all of my pins. And then I have a few final One Piece related items of merch. So first, this little set of stickers of Sanji and Robin. This is from the line called Wholesome Pirates. So there are little positive messages for all the Straw Hats, but then a lot of other characters in One Piece too. So I already have this pin of Sanji, but when I ordered that pin, I also ordered this sticker, and now I have these 2 stickers for Robin and Sanji. And this one is going to be going on my husband's shelf because Robin is one of his favorite characters along with Hancock and Vivi. And then lastly, I'm going to go through all of my recent trading card pickups. And I'm just going to share the ones that I've gotten. I recently made an order that included a lot of my husband's favorite characters, so Hancock, Robin, and Vivi. But immediately when we got them, he just put them in his album and mixed them together with the ones he had before. So I couldn't remember which ones were the new ones, so I just thought, whatever, I'll just share my cards and he can just have his separately. But so these are all cards that I recently ordered from TCG Republic. I've been so happy with my orders from them. I've ordered twice from them. One was a large order that they packaged really well with all the cards packed tightly together. And then the other order I made for them was just one card and it was really secure. I really was unsure the first time I ordered from them because it was free shipping from Japan because I collect Japanese cards, not the English version. But they all came pretty quickly and packaged really securely. So I'm really happy with TCG Republic, and that's going to be my go-to place to order Japanese playing cards from. But then one of these is also a gift. So this first one here was a gift from a friend of Zeff. I do already have a Zeff card that I like a lot, but it's of him when he is a pirate before owning the brassiere. So now I have this one of him as a chef. And then one of the cards that I picked up from TCG Republic was this one of the other cooks at the brassiere, just because I only collect Sanji trading cards, but I also collect cards that are related to Sanji and characters that have a big impact on him. So I have some brassiere cards of Zeff and some of the crew. I have cards of the Vinsmokes and some miscellaneous straw hats. And then for any other characters that I like that are not Sanji related, I'm trying to stick to only one or two of each character so that I don't go out of control, because I'm trying to keep my trading card collection pretty manageable. So I'll share my Sanji cards first. So this first one here is a Dawn card. And I didn't realize the first time I saw this collection of the different straw hats with this release, but this was a special release that had a different color for every straw hat and a little emblem behind. So this one is Sanji's. It has smoke and then a little crossbones, but of cutlery. So had to get this one. And then I got 3 event cards that have Sanji, and honestly, it's a bit of a stretch, I admit, but I just thought, whatever, I want every Sanji if I can get it. So this event card here, we have Sanji here fighting this person. I don't know, when I was researching, I found out where each event took place in the story, but right now it's been weeks since I've got these and I'm just like, yep, there's Sanji. Then this one here is from one of the films that I haven't watched yet, and it's not part of the manga, so I'm not familiar with this content. But that's Sanji. So I needed it. And then this event card from Drum Island. Let's see, where is he? Oh, over here. Little tiny Sanji. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been collecting all the random event cards that have Sanji in them. So 3 more to add. And then one more new card that I got. This one was a freebie. But this one right here of Paulie. I love him. He's one of my favorite characters in One Piece after my top favorites. So Sanji, Luffy, Shanks, Rayleigh, Oden, and then Paulie is either 6 or 7. I can't remember. I'll have to look at my list, but Paulie is a big favorite of mine. Even though he has a smaller role than some of the cast that is repeated throughout the different arcs, I just really like his character. So I wanted to get one of his cards so that I could have it with my favorites. And this was my favorite one, so I picked it up. And then from Jaya Island, I just really like in the Skypia arc, this section with Nolan the Liar and his backstory, and then his ancestor. So this was a freebie card that I got, and I decided to keep it because it's Nolan's ancestor and I just wanted to have it. And I have room for it in my album, so for now, I'm hanging on to this one as well. So this is everything this time around: my manga, some merch, trading cards, and pins. I have recently made an order of some new series that I want to add to my collection that I'm not collecting already, so I'm really excited for some of the new incoming manga to come in, as well as all of the pre-orders that I have on the way as well. I also have a Japan order that's going to be heading my way soon from my proxy service that I usually use, Nioku. So following this video, I will have some exciting new hauls coming up, and I hope you'll look forward to them. And I will see you in those next videos. Thanks for watching.